The December 2024 CPI report offered a glimmer of hope for the new year. After a year marked by economic uncertainty and rising costs, this report provided a much-needed breath of fresh air. Economists and analysts had been closely monitoring the situation, and the latest data brought a sense of cautious optimism. Inflation slowed down, suggesting that the measures taken by the Federal Reserve might finally be working. The downward trend in the Consumer Price Index from June to December was a clear indication that the aggressive interest rate hikes and other monetary policies were starting to bear fruit. This news came as a welcome relief after months of surging prices. Shoppers who had been struggling with the high cost of living could finally see some light at the end of the tunnel. The reduction in inflation meant that their purchasing power was beginning to stabilize. For consumers and businesses alike, the report offered a reason to be cautiously optimistic. Small business owners who had been hit hard by rising costs could now plan for a more stable future. The positive sentiment was palpable across various sectors. While inflation remains above the Federal Reserve's target, the slowdown indicates a potential turning point. Economists warn that it's too early to declare victory, but the signs are encouraging. The Federal Reserve will continue to monitor the situation closely and adjust its policies as needed. The question now is whether this trend will continue into 2025. As we move into the new year, all eyes will be on the economic indicators to see if this positive momentum can be sustained. The hope is that the worst is behind us and a more stable economic environment is on the horizon. Inflation has been hitting consumers hard, forcing them to make difficult choices. As prices continue to rise, families are finding it increasingly challenging to maintain their standard of living. The cost of everyday items from groceries to utilities has surged, leaving many to wonder how they will manage their finances. The price of groceries, gasoline, and other essentials has skyrocketed, putting a strain on household budgets. This surge in prices is not just a temporary inconvenience. It has long-term implications for financial stability. Families are now forced to prioritize their spending, often cutting back on non-essential items and focusing solely on necessities. Many families have had to cut back on spending or dip into their savings to make ends meet. This can lead to a depletion of emergency funds, making it harder to cope with unexpected expenses. The stress of managing a tight budget can also take a toll on mental health, adding another layer of difficulty to an already challenging situation. The rising cost of living has also led to increased demand for wage increases. Workers are advocating for higher pay to keep up with the escalating prices. This push for better wages is seen across various sectors from retail to healthcare. As employees seek to secure a livable income, workers are finding that their paychecks aren't stretching as far as they used to. The gap between income and expenses is widening, making it difficult for many to save for the future or invest in their personal growth. This financial strain is felt most acutely by those on fixed incomes or in lower-paying jobs. This has led to labor unrest in some sectors as workers fight for higher wages to keep up with inflation. Strikes and protests are becoming more common as employees band together to demand fair compensation. The struggle for higher wages is not just about keeping up with inflation, it's about ensuring a decent quality of life for all workers. Businesses have also been grappling with the challenges of inflation. Rising input costs have forced many businesses to raise prices, potentially impacting demand for their products and services. Supply chain disruptions have further complicated matters, making it difficult for businesses to get the goods they need. Despite these challenges, some businesses have found ways to adapt. Some have implemented cost-cutting measures, while others have sought out alternative suppliers. However, the uncertain economic outlook makes it difficult for businesses to plan for the future. Section 4. What's next for the economy? Looking ahead to 2025, we find ourselves at a critical juncture. The economic landscape is filled with both challenges and opportunities. The December 2024 CPI report provides some hope that inflation may be starting to ease. This is a positive sign, but it is important to remain cautious. However, it is still too early to say for certain what the future holds. Businesses and consumers alike are navigating through a period of uncertainty. The Federal Reserve will continue to monitor the situation closely and adjust monetary policy as needed. Their decisions will be crucial in steering the economy through these turbulent times. Economic growth is expected to remain sluggish in 2025. This slow growth can be attributed to several factors, including ongoing global uncertainties and domestic challenges. The ongoing war in Ukraine, persistent supply chain issues, and geopolitical tensions continue to weigh heavily on the global economy. These factors disrupt trade and create bottlenecks that affect businesses worldwide. The potential for a recession all pose significant risks to the economy. Many businesses are already feeling the strain, and the threat of a downturn looms large. Consumers and businesses alike should brace themselves for continued volatility in the months ahead. It is a time for cautious optimism, strategic planning, and resilience as we navigate the uncertain waters of 2025. Section 5. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts on the economic outlook. What are your thoughts on the December 2024 CPI report? Are you optimistic about the economic outlook for 2025? Share your views and join the conversation on social media. Let's discuss the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.